This is the Nikki Medoro Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nikki Medoro. She's Kim McAllister. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a moment of our show. And Kim, today we are going to talk about smartphones and whose responsibility it is to make sure kids are focusing on their schoolwork. Now, it was this week that the Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, called on Congress to require I don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing. Warning labels on social media platforms about their effects on young people. I guess let's start off with that, Kim. Your thoughts on a warning label on social media sites?
So this is just the thing that you click past, right?
Exactly.
You must be 18 years old, or what does it say? Warning, social media can impact your mental health.
Yeah.
Click here to acknowledge. Boom, done.
Boom, done.
It's the same thing as this website is only for 18 years old. Click here to acknowledge. Like, that's going to stop a kid?
What it's just like tobacco. When has the warning label stopped someone from smoking cigarettes? No, that's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's you deciding I don't want to smoke anymore. It's not like, I finally read this warning on the side of my pack of cigarettes, which, by the way, I'm just going to break my arm and pat myself on the back. I finally figured out 11 years.
Yay!
11 years I've been nicotine free. 11 years this week I am nicotine free.
I celebrate
I'm telling you, yes,
it's
awesome. Not easy, but 11 freaking years. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it was no freaking warning on the side of my Marlboro Reds. I am telling you, it was not.
So the difference could be everyone knows cigarettes are bad for you, right? Everyone knows if you drink that you could have an accident or whatever the warning is on the side of an alcohol container.
Birth defects, things like that.
Birth defects or whatever.
Yes.
Everyone knows these things, but does everyone know? We know because we pay attention. Does everyone know that social media is linked to depression and increased suicides and all these mental health issues especially with young people and girls in general?
I feel like yes. I mean, unless you're living under, you know who I don't think knows this? I don't think like 10-year-olds,
right?
11-year-olds that are begging their parents to have an Instagram account, right? I think they're like, oh, my teenage brother or sister has one. Can I have one? Or can I make one for the dog? Those sorts of things. Though I don't think that they fully realize it because, again, they're so young. But it's not. This is the thing with social media that like kind of drives me crazy. It's the way it's created, right? It's the people behind, in my opinion, the people behind it have created it in which it gives you that dopamine kick. They could design a social media platform where you do want to get off of it. You do get bored with it, right? There is. So just kind of a side note, I keep getting kicked off Facebook. I got kicked off Facebook again. It's been twice in the past. Okay. Twice in the past like 2 months. I have been no. At first, okay, this is what I thought. At first, the first time it happened, I thought it had to do with what's his face and his stupid speech at the graduation ceremony. Okay, that douche canoe. Okay, and I had spoken out about it. I was like, oh, maybe I used too harsh a language, which honestly, I don't remember using that harsh language.
You're talking about the Chiefs guy who said a woman's place is in the kitchen. Yes,
that. Okay, so it was right after that I got kicked off, and then I got kicked out. I got a day later they let me back on, and then 2 days ago I opened up Facebook and I was like, nope, you've been suspended. We're reviewing your account for violating community guidelines. You want to know what I think it is? I think they think I'm a bot. I think they think that because I go by both my maiden name and my married name on social media. And the reason why I think it is because they keep making me prove that I'm a human being by moving my face on a video. It's really weird. I don't know if it's ever happened to anybody else, but they make me prove this and then they lift it up. But the reason why I say all these things is there's all these quote unquote safeguards, right? Like I keep getting kicked off because apparently they think I'm violating something. I'm guessing they think I'm a bot because of this. But they can't create a system in which people just get bored of it because that's the problem. Stop recommending harmful things to my child. Like if she wants to look up, cute videos about clothing, stop, feeding her your too fat videos or something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
those sorts of things. They can do it. It's kind of like what we were talking about with the whole 2A gun people. It's like, what do we possibly do?
Yeah.
Fix it. You are
Yeah.
smart enough to fix it. So
Mm-hmm.
stop with this, band-aid of warning labels on social media. Fix the damn platform.
Right. Agree. Now, is it ever a bad thing to put more information out there into the universe?
Of course not.
No.
But I don't want
But
it
if
to be like an
that's
answer.
but if that's what you're banking on fixing the problem, or if that's what you're saying, oh well, point to this. Look, we put the warning on. What else do you want from
Right.
us? Then that's
I
a
mean,
problem. Yeah.
I what I want you to do is I want you to find a way to make social media not such a cesspool. Like, could we,
Mm-hmm.
can we, I don't know. And I know so many people make a business off of it. I was just reading this article and it was about TikTok, and it was this woman who, was making a certain amount of money doing hair in a salon. And then all of a sudden she went on TikTok and she blew up because all of her
Sure.
hairstyles or whatever. And I get that there's this, don't take it away because I've made my livelihood on this.
Sure.
And I'm not trying to be cruel when I say this, because we use YouTube. And if we didn't have YouTube, then we wouldn't be able to do this show and all those
True.
sorts of things. But there was a before.
Mm-hmm.
There can be an after. We would adapt. It's amazing how humans are able to adapt, and we would find something else, and we would find a new way, and we're inventive, and we could create something better. We can, and we could do it. And that's why just on the social media warning label, I think it's such a band-aid and such a, we're doing something when you're not. You should be pressuring these social media providers to do something.
But
Concrete.
The longer you stay on, the longer any of us stays on.
Right.
And kids are more susceptible than others, right?
Right.
The longer you stay on, the more money they make. The more ads they can show you, the more information about you they get, the more they can sell about you, the more ads they can show you. It's this vicious cycle and this vicious circle. So then what becomes the impetus for them to change and actually really do anything meaningful? Because it takes money out of their pocket.
I hear what you're saying, but it's, I keep thinking of, well, feed me good things. Feed me things that make me feel good about myself. Like when when I'm on Instagram, I purposely follow and like and heart things that I know is going to not trick, but feed my algorithm to feed me more of those things. And I can tell when it's working. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know where that's coming from. That's where we have power. But it shouldn't always be like that. I don't want, if for instance, I want to learn how to eat healthier. All of a sudden I'm seeing, unhealthy eating videos, right? And those sorts of things. But that's how it happens. And I think that there's a way that they could do something about it, because honestly, as an adult, and I know it impacts adults just as much, not just as much, but it does impact adults. But I do think teenagers, and especially teenage girls, they're at a crisis level with this. And they can't get away from it. They can't put it away unless their parents are taking it away from them. And so that brings me to Governor Newsom, who, again, kind of like our Surgeon General, it's all fun and dandy to say, but how is this really going to look? So Governor Gavin Newsom announced this week he wants to restrict students' usage of smartphones during the school day, citing mental health risks of social media. Okay, so he's basically calling on, he says he plans to build on a law he signed in 2019 that authorized school districts to limit or ban the use of smartphones by students while at school or under the supervision of a school employee. But he didn't have any other details, of course. And then the California School Boards Association said any regulations over student smartphone use should be left up to the school districts, not the state, which, from the obvious file. So I don't know what it's like at your school, but at my daughter's school specifically, like in middle school, they're not allowed. But in my daughter's school, it's like a classroom by classroom basis sometimes. Some teachers are like, yeah, you can listen to music while you're doing your art, which I kind of get, right? Like you're in a zone, you want to listen to music. I get how it can help. Although I seem to have been able to do art in high school and not needed to have music on, or there was just a radio and, hey, what song do we want to listen to as a class kind of thing. But then there's others, like you have to put your phone in this pouch at the front of the classroom when you enter the classroom.
That's most of Julia's classes where you have to do the pouch thing. But you know what's interesting is they ask you to put your phone in the pouch, but no one says anything about your Apple Watch.
Right. And we've
And
mentioned
so
that before.
most
That's
of these kids are
crazy.
able to do whatever they want to do and continue texting and doing their things on right on their wrist. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
And then in Florida, Ron DeSantis earlier this year signed what's called one of the most restrictive bans in the nation on children's use of social media. The New York State legislature passed a bill earlier this month that would allow parents to block kids from getting social media posts suggested to them by the platform's algorithm. Then here in California, there's a proposal to fine social media platforms for addicting children. That's failed to become law in recent years, but it still kind of lives on.
Yeah.
I just feel like we keep trying to legislate something that is really on the individual level, right? Yeah. It's very much a parent to parent, classroom to classroom. I would say school to school. I think that if you really cracked down as a school, I could see it. Like not even a school district, a school. Like, look, no phones. If we find your phone, we're gonna take it. We're going to give it to your parents. You're going to get 2 warnings. Then stuff's going to start going in your record. Like, you need to scare the crap out of these parents that want their kids to have oh so perfect records. Yeah. This is the rule. They can't bring cigarettes to school. They can't smoke on campus. I know what kids do, so don't come at me. But you know what I mean? Like, there's rules. If we catch it, we take it away. You don't get it back kind of thing.
Right.
Like, if you're really going to make a rule, enforce the damn thing. But if you don't, and it's so case by case, classroom by classroom, the kids are going to want to get away with everything they can get away with. What kid doesn't? You're telling me I can keep my Apple Watch on? You think like you're really getting over one on these kids? Like, just say it. No Apple Watches. How am I going to reach my kid? Call the friggin' office. Yeah. We have phones there. They work.
Yeah, that's the thing. They should say no Apple Watches, but the rules, the policies haven't caught up with, you'd think by now it would catch up with the technology.
Yes, you would think.
But they haven't. I don't know. I feel like in junior high, Julia went to a junior high that's attached to an elementary school. Okay. And it was a no phone ban, just like you were talking about.
Right.
And she would go to her locker. Hey, Nugget. She would go to her locker and she would sneak and she would say, hey, Mom, can you bring my whatever instrument it was for band in the last period? But she would have her face like shoved into her locker, making a really quick phone call, right? So they took it pretty seriously. But at high school, you know, they're able to walk through the halls and do whatever they're going to do.
They're making TikTok videos and Instagram reels and all kinds of crap. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just feel there needs to be some more enforcement. And I know kids hate to hear this. They want structure. They do. They want rules, but what they want are fair rules. And I feel like when you go to one class and it's allowed and another class it's not allowed, it could feel unfair. And the last thing a teenager wants is something that feels unfair. Yeah. And so there's going to be arguments and all sorts of things. So while I applaud, I guess, the governor for kind of echoing what a lot of parents want, I really would put more of the pressure on schools and being like, come on, us parents can't do it alone. I mean, of course I could take my kid's phone and not let her go to school. And that is a perfectly good response from the school to the parents. Like, if you don't want your kid to have a phone at school, then don't let them leave the house with it.
And then what happens when tragedy strikes?
Well, tragedies happened before phones, and they happened. And I understand what you're saying. I feel like we've convinced ourselves that our children need their phones. Now, when my daughter before Christmas had broken her phone, remember I was telling you guys, and she didn't have one. I loved it. Her attitude changed. She even admitted that she loved it. There were many points where I was like, I really need to get a hold of her, right? Like, I'm like, I need to change pickup time, or this is happening, and it was a pain in the ass, but it wasn't something we couldn't overcome. Or it wasn't like, okay, yeah, it sucked. I wish she could have known about that or whatever. Life went on. The sun rose and set, and you know what I mean? Like, she still went to school and all those sorts of things. So I'm just as guilty as anybody else for not wanting to take that step when intellectually I know it's the right thing to do. Yeah. You know? Yeah. No, and that's what sucks. Because I'm part of the problem, Kim. Damn it. I'm part of the freaking problem.
Well, it becomes easy, like,
Yeah.
to text them and go, hey, wait for me outside of the school, or what
Oh
time do you
God,
need me to
yeah.
pick up? This whole coordinating with them has become easy. If
Yeah. We don't
things
want to give it
plans
up, just like
change
they
or
don't want to
things
give it
change.
up.
Yeah, it's what do they
Yeah.
say? Don't make a punishment that you can't abide by, like that makes your
Exactly.
life harder that you're not going to want. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. I
Hey,
have one. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I have a mom question for you.
Oh, I love mom questions.
I was told tonight,
Hmm.
yeah, that Jacob mistakenly told me he has a secret candy stash in his room.
What
That
a dodo bird. Why did
he
he
and
tell
his
mom?
I know he tried to stop halfway through, and I'm like, "You're too
Don't
late
you love
now."
kids? Like they're like, oh no, I don't want to say that.
And his friend has one too, and so they
Okay.
tell each other, "Hey, when you come over to my house, you can."
We can have
Where's
this.
Julia?
What? I don't know where she is.
Dinner.
Okay. Um, he's like, "Where's Julia?" Um, so that she can raid his candy stash, and when he goes to her house, he can raid her candy stash, and so they're sharing candies back and forth.
Right?
And for a long time, I had like a no food in your room rule because
Oh,
it
good luck.
brings like bugs and ants
Yeah.
and whatever else. Like it was because they're messy. Kids are messy.
Yes.
But now they have this. He's got this thing he's sharing with his friend, and I'm like, do I
Do I
like
take
just
it
make sure it's
away?
in a Ziploc bag, or do I take it away? Or
Well,
because
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I want to
You're
encourage your friendship. What do we do it in a smart manner where we put it up in a special place in a Ziploc bag?
well, what is his candy in right now? Isn't it in a
He
Ziploc
said, that's
bag?
what I said. He said, well, first I had it. He stole a couple containers from the kitchen. He said,
Uh-huh.
but then I realized you were going to miss those. So I put those back and
Okay.
I did put it in a Ziploc bag. And I said, well, where
Done.
does it live? He goes, well, it's down low behind my Legos. I said, okay, well, that's in a place where the dog could get it because your dog could nug the
Right.
Legos out of the way. And we can't have if there's chocolate in there, you can't have it by the dog.
I love
So
it.
then here I am thinking about where the best place for his candy stash is. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold
I'm
on.
like, where is the best
Why am
place for
I
a
saying
candy
you're
stash?
allowed to have a candy stash in your room at all?
Put it like in the mom spot, like put it in a vegetable bag in the freezer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like do
yeah,
something funny. No, my kids are hi Nugget. So my daughter she loves eating in her room and I
yeah,
hate it. I hate it. I hate
yeah.
it. I hate it. But it's something I have acquiesced to
Mm-hmm.
because she just keeps doing it and I no matter how much I yell and scream, it's
Yeah.
her domain kind of thing. And as long
Mm-hmm.
as when I yell enough, she cleans her room but she loves sitting in her bed, eating her puffer corn or whatever the hell she's
Can
eating.
you?
And
That's so gross. Like, imagine all the crumbs and grossness in her bed.
that's what I'm saying. And I
Yeah.
can't like if they even try to come into our bed with something, my husband's like, get
Like,
out. Like,
no,
no freaking
no
way.
food, no
Uh
crackers in the bedroom. No.
I mean, I get like having but I'll tell you this: when my kids have a candy stash, like after Halloween or whatever, I'm
Oh, I'm
definitely
in it.
getting it. Oh, I'm getting it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, sometimes I'll peek my head in the door and I'm like, you got any candy in there? Like, I'll just
How
need
many
a
Snickers do you
sweet.
have left?
I'm like, I need a
Yeah,
little sweet treat right there. I love Jacob for telling you though.
yeah.
Kids are so funny like that. They're like, who am I? Why am I telling her this?
No, he did. He stopped halfway through and he's like, never mind, never mind. And I'm like, too late now,
Ah,
pal.
can't
You're in it.
lie. You
Mm-mm.
can't lie. I love it. Well, that's a great segue to the one thing that I did want to mention before we go, which is something that's on tonight. And
Okay.
I'm really interested in watching it. Do you have Hulu?
No,
Oh, I don't. Well, maybe you could watch it because you have regular TV.
no.
What the hell, man? Okay, well, you're gonna wanna watch this. Do you get Channel 7?
I think I can watch it online, perhaps.
Sherri Papini's case is being made into a docu-series. You'll remember Sherri Papini
Oh,
was the one that went
Sherry.
to Southern California, lied about like being like abducted by Hispanic women. Like it was a crazy ass story. She was with her boyfriend. She like did
Yeah.
some crazy ass stuff to herself. But
They
anyways,
found her walking down the side of the road in like
yeah, it was
what YOLO County with
crazy.
shackles, and she lied.
It
Yeah.
was crazy. So, anyways, her husband is speaking out for the first time because tonight is the first part of this docu series, and I do think it's on Hulu. It might be on ABC 7.
Okay.
Check your local listings. But here's a little bit. He did an interview with ABC 7. This is the first time he's been speaking out, and I just so
This poor guy.
the first clip I'm going to play you is like, why the hell did you want to do it after all this time? Why do you want to redredge up everything? And here's what
Right.
he told Reggie Aki.
I wanted to get the truth out. There's been so many
lies out there and so many, misreportings during that time. And I really wanted to land the message of this is what happened to my family, my friends, the community. We were all taken advantage of. And I wanted everybody to just know the truth of what really happened.
Okay, so then I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So then Reggie asks him about, there's a point in this docu-series where the husband admits, I knew she was lying. And it just made me think of like, you're married to somebody or you've been with somebody for a very long time. Listen to what he says.
I think when you're together with somebody for so long, you obviously pick up on their mannerisms. You pick up on a lot of things. And when I pulled back that curtain and I saw her very first reaction when she looked up at me, we were about 15 feet away or so. It just looked like she thought she was caught.
I love it.
And it's something that is kind of an image that's just burned in the back of my brain. But again, immediately after I go to give her a hug, I felt her scars and her scabs and saw the shape that she was in, and I immediately just felt horrible for even thinking that.
Right. So now everyone knows the story. This isn't a spoiler alert. She branded herself. I mean, this woman went to such lengths to kind of convince people that she had done this. And I'm just blown away. And I will even, I mean, obviously I don't want to use the term mental illness, but
I think it's clear though that she is mentally ill. I mean, you don't do these things to yourself if you're
right,
normal, if you're happy, if you're whatever. She wanted attention for whatever reason. She had a mental break or a mental illness or whatever pushed her to do this. And they were together for a really long time. So he had to know that she was a little off.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. One more clip I want to play you. Reggie Akey asks him, do you forgive her?
That's another great question. If she wronged me or did something to me, I think I'd be able to get past that eventually. But the community, I mean, even where you guys are at, I mean, most of California, and if not the United States, I mean, everybody was following the story. Everybody, we had letters from all over the world, from people looking at us as if we could have been their family. The ripple effect of how many people probably stopped jogging, weren't allowed to go on bike rides anymore, and walk to school. I think so many people were affected. And then at the end of the day, my children, our children, I don't know if I can forgive that. Again, if it was just me, I feel like I get over it. But what she has done to everyone, I just don't know if that's something that I'll just be able to forgive.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be able, like, if my spouse or partner did something, I like him too. But imagine, not only that, Kim, the thing that would stick with me, I'd be so freaking embarrassed. What the F is wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? Leave me. Go with your boyfriend. Are you insane? You're going to do all of this? Just leave me. Just leave me. It doesn't have to be this gigantic police search and manhunt. Are you out? And the answer is yes. She was completely out of her mind. And I'm totally going to watch this docuseries, by the way. That's why I wanted to bring
into
it
it
up.
too. I'm so interested.
Well, I
such
love
a weird case.
Such a weird story.
Case. And he seems so genuine and just so his honest answers and so, I don't know, down to earth. I like that guy, and I'm so sorry that happened to him.
Exactly.
Because that's what it is. She really did wreck his life.
She wrecked his life, the kid's life. I mean, come on. Every time you Google, if you're a kid and that's your mom, this isn't something that's just going to blow over. It is humiliating.
Well,
and she didn't care.
And he gave her his last name. Right?
Yeah,
he picked her, he married her, he gave her his last name. Now you Google Pini and what pops up?
Yep. And that's why he said he wanted to do the docuseries. He's like, I want the truth. So that's starting tonight. I think I was looking on Hulu. I want to say it's maybe 3 or 4 parts or whatever. So check that out. I'll be watching that as well. So you guys can let me know what you think. All right. Tomorrow's Friday. So we'll have a fun show. Speaking of recommendations, I will have a couple of book recommendations. It is summertime. And Kim, I'm telling you, we were just talking about social media. I'm always like on Book Talk or Book Instagram. Like I love when people do these quick videos of the books that they're reading.
Yeah.
And these two that I'm recommending, I found on there. I am burning through this book right now. It's the perfect summer read. And so you guys can let me know your summer reads.
Okay.
Email them to me and we'll share them on the show because it's summertime. You got to get a tan. Can you tell I'm tanning? You got to get a tan. You got to read. Oh, got to see my son. My son is like beating me freaking out of the water.
I don't tan. I just burn.
No. My son is so dark. But anyways, tomorrow's going to be a fun show. She'll be whiter. I'll be darker. It'll just be what it is.
I'll be redder. You'll be browner. It'll be very colorful.
It'll be summertime in California. Yeah. Click that thumbs up button to show your support. Please make sure you have subscribed and share the show with your friend and donate to the show because we love doing it and we can only do it with your support. So the super chat is live. You can throw us a super sticker if you want. And we thank you so much to those who do. Also, our Patreon and our PayPal. If you could throw us $10 a month, that would be excellent. More would be great. TheNikkiMadoroShow.com.
We're never going to turn down more.
We won't turn down more, of course. TheNikkiMadoroShow.com. Our Patreon link is there, or go to PayPal.com and put in the show's email address, TheNikkiMadoroShow@gmail.com. TheNikkiMadoroShow@gmail.com. And then support our sponsor, Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors. She has hot sauces, a hibiscus, and a pineapple hot sauce. It's not too hot, unless it's Kim, and then it is too hot. Guava barbecue sauce. It's delicious. It's not too spicy. And use the coupon code NickKim, NIKKIM, and you get 10% off each and every order.
I'm sorry I'm such a wimp.
You're not. I love that about
I'm
you.
a wimp. Most people are going to love it. It's just
I like
me.
A spicy tongue. I got a spicy tongue. All right.
You're a spicy girl. That's what you are.
We will talk on Friday.
Kicked off of Facebook. You're spicy in so many ways.
I'm not a bot.
Something happened. I think someone doesn't like you, or you've got a Trumper on your case, and people keep reporting like random stuff.
I think they think I'm a bot. But whatever I am, I'll be here with Kim tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.